Right, against Jordanians, meeting engagement. We are again in a mission where marginal victory is basically a failure. So either things have to go well for us, or we might as well just end it there. Within reason, of course, we can always take some casualties. Mm. Right, so I don't exactly know where they're gonna come from, but this is not good enough. This hill blocks us perfectly. Need to reach it at the very least. I'm not sure if I want to go for it now, because there's a good chance some of the enemy will also come from a little bit off the main path, so having a unit or two here ready to fire might not be the most horrible thing possible. Still, I'm expecting them to more or less... This could be a delay mission sort of for them, because they have some flags already. What exactly do we see? Almost nothing, so we're... It's not good, but on the other hand we're also fairly safe. Assuming they have... yeah, these guys are just gonna be left behind. It's either the road or nothing, but not sure how important that is. We don't need to exactly achieve everything possible now. What we need to do is secure something so we can fight at our own pace. But even if we can hold on to those two flags, that'll be enough. So a little bit of infantry dropped into the city should be what we're aiming for, and hold ground until the fighting is more or less decided. No, we need to take the hills and the final flags, and with any... If they don't come after us, they're gonna have a huge amount of defensive forces there. If they do come after us, we can probably fight for around 10 turns and still get a decisive victory out of this. Okay, this is fairly good. If we went out here, we could probably engage targets stationed here. Something to consider. I want to at least see some of them. Right. If there are unit stations there, they will open fire on this tank. Not sure if that's all that good for us, but I need to know if they are they already positioned there, and how much or how many. Slightly suspicious. Okay. Can at least secure some things. Can't see shit. There's no way they don't see us. So they could have a lot of missiles just waiting. Why didn't you move? And the jeeps? No. Without a doubt, we are already seeing within range fire of some targets. I don't see how we could possibly not be. Right, with these we can open fire with missiles on these flags. Okay, not sure how we're going to unravel this. Can't just use the man tag to push in first. Right, I'm gonna set up a group of tanks here to cover these. I'm gonna then send something to try to unravel that. Squad, the platoon B will do this job. We could try sending infantry there, I suppose, but that'll take time. Also, I don't really want to do it now, since we just moved the units in position. So I'm not sure how much I could really achieve now. The biggest worry is missiles. There's not much I can do about that. There's no effective protection against them at this stage. And since I didn't actually bring any good scouting units, I could be in real trouble here. On the other hand, if they are trying to do some come after us with some kind of attack force, our tanks are starting to be in a fairly good positions overall, so trying to just forcefully push here is gonna be a tough job. Fuck. There, we're gonna drop bombs. Immobilization for the most part. What's the command unit? That's good though, because it means they've spent valuable points on aircraft. Right, you. Sure, I want to do anything with. Gotta do something with this. Right, now we are covering those. Wouldn't fire now if I could. Suppression 5 means that the actual chance of hit is pretty goddamn low. I'm guessing we got suppressed because we separated from the command squad. Also, I don't really see a point in taking the jeeps closer. We're within firing range. And our accuracy will not really benefit by us going closer. Right. Immobilized. Okay, we're seeing things. Yep. Centurion Mark 5. I don't really see any negatives on this tank they have. Yeah, they're just waiting. Crap. We don't have technological advantage this time against them. They can definitely fire on targets here. Shit. Big tanks. Not really missing all that much. I'm pleased, very pleased. Not sure how to deal with that one though. Is it moving? It is not. Probably see the crew here. Right. Need the jeeps covering this one, and I need infantry to act as our spotters. We currently have the luxury of time on that, I think. What we don't have the luxury is just bumbling into the enemies. Hello, my friend. I don't particularly want to take chances here. Wait. Okay, suddenly a lot of centurions there. Where did they come from? It's because we're popping out infantry. We have a better group of spotters here now. Okay. You're not moving. We are not moving. When happen to see something? Yes. It's a bit risky to fire with this. Risky to fire with anyone. Two hits on the command tank. 3 damage. No kills though. Okay, you see new things. Now you see the crew. Not sure if we should stay here. I'm gonna stay here for a couple of turns at least in case new targets pop up. And the command units. Get closer to action. I want to start with units that actually already see something. They haven't moved yet, so the accuracy should be above 50%. I think the J group was a good one. Right, J0 sees 2. I prefer to start with these that only see 1. Less chance of effective counterfire. Okay. Not gonna fire anything with the Jeep. Hopefully destroying 2 of these will suppress it. He's just buttoned up, that's not good enough. Same time, don't particularly want to move too much. We want to get into a position to shoot at that tank, but not really move too much forward. So this is actually quite nice. If they start moving, we can fire on them immediately. But other than that, we'll be fine. A group. We really should move some units further south. This tank would basically get a shot at us as the point though. So there's a limit how much south I'm willing to move at the moment. Still can't see it? Yes, I can see you. 10%. We do have a chance to take it out. It's not a great chance. I think it's the 78% is probably not accurate because we have some suppression. But it's still a lot better than 10%. There it is. There could be more, but yeah, who cares? We have the jeeps in position on the next turn. 2 of them in pretty much perfect position, so even though there's an additional platoon of tanks there, I don't see it making all that much of a difference. Things are going surprisingly well for us. And there was a chance to get a couple of casualties too, so like this one. Yeah, they're taking the immobile tanks on this one. They're not succeeding. Not yet at least. Now this is our first casualty. There's our second and third. We lost added tank, so it's not from the core army. 4 points of damage. Yeah, the damage keeps piling up. I wish I could just abandon that tank pretty much and escape with the crew, because the bombardments are likely just going to continue. Additional tanks spotted. Nice. Interesting to notice that they are in no hurry to do a goddamn thing here. So it's all about us making progress on our own, beating the defenses they've set up. Oops, that's the wrong unit. Okay, what exactly can we do? Ooh, we see a fourth tank here. That means there's probably a fourth tank on this side too. Surprised it didn't move at all. On the other hand, doesn't really matter what it could have done. Might be a good idea to move this. Get closer to the command chief. Easier to manage the suppression we're getting. With this, we might be able to take the jeeps and start lobbing missiles at them from this angle. They don't seem to be reacting to the presence of the jeeps all that aggressively, while they do seem to respond to the presence of tanks. I'm also interested in killing the crews because they're sort of a problem for me. We're constantly seeing them. Right now we're not seeing anything. Ooh, what are you seeing? 2 hits. Yeah, he's just buttoned up. They have good forces. Very disciplined. Keep pushing forward with the tanks. But how aggressively? We don't really have anything that would take these on here at the moment, so I'm not seeing any real need to press our luck with that. More than likely it would just cause issues for us. We just need to get the hell out of the location where they're bombing. Shit. We can't afford a huge amount of losses like that. Yeah, now it's a problem. The destroyed tag costs, destroyed APC costs suppression in the surrounding units. Ooh. We probably see all the tanks waiting here. There's another group of 4 here. A group of 4 here and group of 4 here. I am expecting them to start firing back at some point. Alright. No reaction really though. Not yet. Nothing drastic has happened for a few turns though, so I'm not in any big hurry. I'd rather let the infantry get a little bit closer to see what we're getting into. They have to have some infantry. Oh shit. There's number 4. Another tank lost. Shit. Don't destroy, but it's immobile, so it's worthless. Oh, another 2 tanks spotted. Right, the casualties are still manageable at a manageable level, so I'm not too worried about those. What the fuck are you firing at? Jesus Christ. Yeah, you have easy targets close by and you're shooting at faraway targets, because that makes a lot of sense. %chance of hitting versus 99.99. Yeah, I'll take your 99. How many missiles do we have? Yeah, just 3. Not sure I want to take that shot. The tanks here should be able to take them on anyway. Alright, the tanks here can take that out. I could fire a single missile here. That would sort of quiet them down on the return fire front. Son of a bitch. Clickety clickety click. At least we're hitting something. Yeah, that's a significant amount of casualties on their front anyway. They don't give a shit about the casualties we're causing them. That's my biggest worry. But if there's only the tanks we see, I don't think that would be the case. So there's still something significant I'm not seeing. Destroy the crews. That might aid quite a bit. With any luck, we basically target their command tanks already. The crew just survived, so there's not a huge suppression battle there. We have still have 1 missile left. Yeah, they don't give a crap. Tanks exploding all over the place, and they don't give a single shit. Still made the mistake of actually shooting my infantry, which is nice. Ah, shit. I need something to get at those guys. APCs are borderline worthless here, I suppose. Nothing new under the sun. They're still in control of the road here. I could shoot the infantry I'm seeing. 3 units. Why 3? Mainly to try to suppress them more. But yeah, that doesn't work unless we actually get kills. Right. This is bad, because if we move a little bit to the south, we are going to get fired by the tank, and it's standing still. It's fairly close range, so it's very risky whoever goes there. At the same time, I can't exactly just here. Ooh, you see some? It's just a group. We could use the infantry to scout things out, I suppose. If we go here, there shouldn't be nothing secret. Right. But we have a clear side here, where we are expecting resistance. Even if it's not tank, it's some dug-in troops or something. So either way, that's a solid position to be in. And the APCs can swarm in at that point and take care of any infantry they might be able to have. 5% chance to get the kill. It's not great, but we have nothing else to shoot at. Right. The J group patterns are the likeliest to make a push here. If they move a single hex, I'm pretty sure they can fire on that Centurion. Any Centurions hiding behind the buildings would then be in a bad position. We have to make something out of this soon. There's no immediate rush. I think we're about 3 turns away from here if we just drive at full. About the same if we go for these flags. So we have still 11 turns left. No reason to be hasty here. But they're not gonna make the first. What exactly do we see? Yeah, this is. I'm expecting more targets within our field of view. Not here though. We have 2 missiles left and 1 missile left with him. Right. There we go. Shit. Can't afford too many of those. Please don't die, please don't die. Oh fuck, that's a lot of tanks. It's bombs. They've already used some of their bombs. Okay, what are we seeing? 2 new tanks, where we've been looking at for some time. And we have suppression. Not that. Ooh. One destroyed, one damaged the point it has no weapons left. So fun. You don't see anything. Yeah, they're right in the shadow. We definitely have to take them out right now. Hopefully we'll get lucky shots at these, otherwise we're in big trouble. Okay. Single shot. I think I'll start with him because he has no suppression. It'll be much more accurate. We are out of ammo. Interesting. Wrong Centurion, but shit. Yeah, this is turning into a marginal fight, which means we can't win this anymore. What we can do about that? Replay until you get the correct results. At least we didn't lose the crew, so that's a little bit better. Not much though, definitely not much. I basically need some way to reveal units that I should already be able to fire on. That's my biggest problem here. Could have stand in a very distant position to take these guys out. But I had no... well, didn't know where they're gonna be. Now I know. And now it's a bit too late to do much about it. If I move, I'm probably going to die anyway. Ooh, I'm seeing... more or less have what I have. Right, APCs. That would explain why they're holding on fairly well. Right. There isn't all that much I can do. Since we're already sort of heading toward marginal victory, I'm going to take a risk. Yeah. We need a resolution to this situation one way or another. We're going to die, it's marginal. We're gonna push through, it might still go our way. He didn't get a kill, he immobilized me, which is a problem, but not that big of a problem. Because they don't really have aircraft to send anymore to finish up these jobs. Yeah, now they're buttoned up. Now they're buttoned up. Treating. Yes, it's starting to get some kind of results. We're still not in a position to really rush in there and get the job done. But they're sneaking in closer. If there's any kind of major development here, I can just pop out of my cover and get the job done. Are losing a few too many tanks. Still, yeah, it's starting to be a problem. At least a lot of the crew is currently still alive, so it's hard to say how it's gonna go. We are killing many more tanks than we're losing. Oh shit! Yeah, this isn't good. We're definitely not going to get a decisive victory out of this, so we're going to have to replay. I don't see a fundamental problem with what we're doing. The problem is we need to take positions along lines we already took, but we need to hold those lines, and we need to send some kind of sacrificial force to swap them. And I think in this mission, a helicopter might be exactly what we're looking for. And they damaged our only tank. That's kind of progress here. Yeah, we have no cannons on this vehicle either. So we are definitely lacking the capability of doing shit. And they have tanks. Okay, now come out the bazooka teams. Uh, they don't have the infantry missile teams. They're the same army basically as us. British tanks, bazooka teams. Bazooka teams are short range. Huh. But we have no. I think we have one tank. No, we had one tank here who had a weapon. Now we have zero. I mean, that's an entire platoon of tanks basically wiped out. Then there are extra casualties here. So yeah, much too much. This could only have a half a dozen tanks, I suppose. Wouldn't surprise me to have the main force here. Either way, I'm gonna have to keep playing because we're gonna have to do this again. I need to know what exactly do I need to deal with in the yeah. Now it's more APC stuff. But as long as we don't dominate the tank fight, it doesn't matter. So it's all for nothing really. And we're going to lose a lot of men if we start using them only as fighters. Yeah, there are many more tanks here than I thought. They've been standing still. I'm not sure a helicopter would be to answer this. Aircraft or two might be something that would help clean up a place like this. The open tanks, yeah, that's where a helicopter would basically be moved. That would be especially so because we can't take a huge amount of tanks, so getting expensive tanks is a problem because losing even one or two of them will tip the scales against ours, so it just doesn't work. I don't think they're gonna move, so we might as well shoot at everything we can. Ready, 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 ready. And they're in positions and there's not much I can do. I could let the B team move. As in B platoon. But if there's some surprises here, there's nothing really to react to anything. And just moving these to the south isn't exactly a guarantee of any kind of a success. But at the same time, sitting here waiting to do so pretty much nothing is also equally worthless. So yep. Mobilize. Just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Can't even destroy a target. I have to go fairly low here to get up. Hard spotting. I don't think I want to go lower. We see a retreating tank. Can't do shit about it. Yeah, we can't use the infantry anymore at this distance. So we have to do the long-range tank fight first. Then we'll have to get in the infantry killers, get those to do something. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Yeah, this trying to push these through here with infantry alone is pretty much hopeless. They have the better units here. And I can't bring in the APCs because we lost the tank fights. Well, not necessarily lost, but it's marginal, so it's for all practical purposes it doesn't matter in size. Not sure how to counter the aircraft. I suppose need to spread out a bit more, because if they strike us while we're holding our positions, they could still ruin our day. Not much I can do about them. It's too expensive to take dedicated anti-air. Bad place to be. I'll stay here. They don't give two shits about the jeeps. Right, we just need to get these target areas targeted by a platoon of tanks, more or less. Probably a couple of group of jeeps wouldn't hurt. It's something to deal with this concentration here. It's pretty tough to go from any direction with just tanks. Aircraft, but I don't, aircraft, they're not really a solution. This is a good example what can happen with the aircraft. We have a lot of slightly damaged and immobile tanks here, but nothing actually got destroyed by the aircraft. So if that same thing happens here, it's not really enough. On the other hand, we could swarm them with infantry, especially if we get a. I mean, we basically can trick them to fighting the infantry a little bit, then come in with the heavier gear to wipe them out. So it's doable. I think it's better use of points to maybe get missile tips or something. The enemy is very reluctant to start shooting at the jeeps, and the jeeps are very deadly. I could consider buying ammo trucks, I suppose. They're fairly cheap. It's a lot more infantry fighting than I thought. More losses. It's definitely not. I can't get a decisive no matter what I do. And these guys aren't hitting the enemy aircraft at all. I don't really even need much. I basically the shittiest possible thing they could do, and that. Okay, this is gonna be bad. They have probably around 30-40% chance to hit, and I have 10. So this will not work. You basically need to be in a fairly good position before you start this type of fighting starts. You need to end it quickly as you deal new enemies. And we're not going to lose this, but still a worth time waster. Retreating just because of that. Yeah, they're not doing all that well anymore. Yeah, but there's no. I would have to bring in our APCs to push through here. I guess I can start bringing them in. If they're not moving, we're sort of safe anymore. Anyway. Yeah, it's AA fire versus AA fire. Just fine. I'm more interested in the infantry at the moment. It's very hard at these distances to kill APCs anyway. You need to be more or less point blank. Maybe we should strive here. There's probably more enemies there tonight. It's a good idea to get a idea where at what point they can start shooting. The puzzler about the jeeps would also be that they're much better at trying to go into a dangerous situation to trigger some kind of response, simply because they're so much smaller. So yeah, with a tank, especially these tanks that have I think the size of 5, they're very easy to hit. Even at the . I think we had like 30% plus something to hit at the Russian tanks at similar ranges, and here we have 50 plus right from the start. So I think the Russian tanks are at least one size category smaller, and it shows immediately, which means we can't use our own tanks in a similar way that the enemy can use their tanks in a lot of these missions. It just won't work. Different tanks. I could try to destroy that, but that's not gonna work. It's too soon. If it was routed, yes. I'll be able to suppress it a little bit more. Yeah, that tank seeing us is not a good thing. And that blocked our access to all the other targets. No. It wasn't. I was thinking how close were we to decisive victory. I don't think it was all that close really. I was thinking, is it because I hesitated? I'm not sure if it's that. Yeah, I need to do something about the aircraft. I don't need to destroy them, I need to damage them, so once they've bombed once, they are not coming back. The cannons they have is enough to just end it, especially if I just sit around in a single location like this. It's gonna be a catastrophe if I can't do something about that. Not rush the APCs every turn would help. I'm not sure if that's enough, but at the same time I'm not sure if the effective solution is worth it. I've gotta start pushing forward even if there are additional tanks here. Otherwise I'm gonna run out of time anyway, so it's entirely pointless no matter what I do. I'm certainly not shooting at infantry with the tanks. Chance to hit is pretty low, so not worth bothering. Your shit together. Is the tank still here? Don't see any. Yeah, this is trying to just attack with the infantry when the enemy infantry is still there. It's no good. should be shooting at the vehicle. The infantry will take casualties. So, I think the first thing we should struggle to do is get rid of the air force. Damage it so it has to pull back. Hello, Mr. Centurion. Gas heat is pretty low. But again, it's another tank in the locations I've been staring at for a huge amount of time. And just haven't been able to spot a goddamn thing. I don't really care what the end result of this fight now is. I need to just see what the fuck what is here and what's anywhere really. So is it enough to just deal with the problems I've sort of outlined already, or are there additional things I need to worry about? The enemy position doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same every time we redeploy. That might also be a thing to think about. Another tank. Just the amount of tanks they have is ridiculous. My problem is that every time, no matter what the quality really is, I'm going to have to take down many more tanks than I have as available. And it's still not enough. Any kind of comparable forces and we're gonna lose massively. Can't have that. We're gonna lose some points. Oh, they have anti-air missiles, but their infantry is anti-air. Something to consider. So we don't have a free reign with the helicopters, even if we would take them. But I'm not sure what else we could use as a spotter. I mean, these have been just vehicles in the open, not even dug in, just standing there. And I had to pretty much drive almost 10 hexes away to them before I started to spot anything. I could have been shooting them for a long time. So I'm not sure how this is best handled. Because I don't have the time to walk infantry here to reveal everything. Something else has to be done. And I'm not sure what the hell that something else needs to be. I don't think I even have the tank capabilities to push through the enemy tanks. Just... yeah, we're immobilized, so we're not moving anywhere. They got most of my tanks, even if they're either without weapons or immobilized, and that's the Air Force, mostly. We lost a couple of to the enemy tank fire, true, but only a couple. The rest were neutered before they even get a chance to fight. So I think this won't be even a martial victory anymore, it's a draw or a martial loss. I'm not sure what to do. It has to be some sort of vehicle for the mobility. It doesn't have to be a flying one, but if not, then it has to be very small that has an excellent spotting capability. It cannot be heavy, it has to be cheap. We need to be able to lose them without it affecting how the flights are. Are they attacking now? If I could trigger this at an earlier state, this would basically be a solution for a lot of problems. And another. Slightly moving forward, but moving forward. So that the center is their main army. Northern Hill has, well, had, but doesn't tanks. No infantry really though. That's surprising to me. So very different type of ability here, right? They probably have an HQ somewhere closer to those final flags. But this. And it's all in the open. I just need to spot it with something. That's all it needs. What the hell are you firing at? Too late for this. Even if we get a huge massacre going against them, it won't make enough of a difference. Still, the number of tanks are starting to diminish nicely. Holy shit, we might be able to shoot at something important. They're pretty much routed at this point. They're just retreating. Some pinned teams. Thinking of rushing the tank. That's doubt we can kill it though. Buttoned up, not really routed. And I can't exactly leave the bazooka teams there unharassed. They are more than capable of taking down APCs. Still, since we're already able to finish this, we might as well go and pull in and then see, get a resolution faster. Right, we just need to get the tank battle to go our way and everything will be fine. no, that's definitely not the case. We need to disable the aircraft somehow. We need to win the tank battle. Basically, reveal the locations of the enemies. And that's more or less it. Routed. Yeah, these are not going to be able to do anything. It's routed, and that's the only one who's still able to do something. So yeah, we can probably at least end up with the gathering of the flags. But way too many casualties. I'm not sure if I want to do this with everything where I already know that there's no possible way to move forward with the mission. Because it is sort of a waste of time. So in that sense, I sort of regret actually looking at that I know I need a decisive victory. Because it takes the point out of continuing to play these scenarios after you know that you can't get a decisive victory anymore. But at least it, well, I think we should aim for a decisive victory then in every mission. Basically not use aggressive tactics to the point where we suffer huge casualties. Because we know, at least we don't know shit, but we know that there's a risk that might be the regional rules. I could start also saving more in the middle of the mission, so if there are catastrophic failure points, we can go back. Although I don't mind doing that. I think I'll do that after I've failed once already. But not on the first time. First time we'll go wherever the case for the game goes. Holy shit, we might be able to shoot at something. Yes. We have to go for the Centurion tank. They're buttoned up. Usually they don't give a shit about the light weapons fire. But I guess they've been shooting quite a bit already, right? So what do we still have left? I do have to give them credit. They never really did the usual full route when they actually start talking up. So we can't rely on something like that. Not against these. escaping crew. I was hoping to see maybe their HQ. Maybe. We could also maybe look into seeing if there's affordable anti-air missiles. I need to look at the cost. If it's not too expensive, it might not be a whole idea to purchase some. Because we don't really need all that much. We just need we need a damage to the enemies, the aircraft flying above us. Hopefully before they bombard us, so we could evade the initial damage impact. We need to also be spread about a little bit, so only one unit is basically lost at a time. Hello, Mr. Tank. HQ. Okay, the fight is decided. Marginal victory, I'd say. You get everything, but you do it at a cost that is way too high. I like the jeeps quite a bit. More than I thought I would. Initially I just wanted something cheap that I can throw there. Any kind of anti-tank that doesn't cost me much. But I think that undervalues the jeeps quite a bit. The fast speed and the size is maybe the bigger advantage. And I need anti-air. There's some kind of graphical bug with the aircraft for some reason. I don't know what's going on. I don't particularly care. It's not that big of a deal. We don't have any anti-tank units here, so someone is going to need to suppress that Centurion or we're in deep shit. Suppose it doesn't matter, we can just drive what it lacks. But it does sort of matter. No more bazooka teams. Infantry can destroy it. They just can't reach it on this turn. You have the ammunition, right? Yeah, probably shouldn't be shooting with the anti-tank missiles anymore. It's getting to the point where I would be running out even if I get next to the tank. It's retreating, but barely. It can easily recover from that. Please don't fire at me. Okay, this will at least guarantee that it won't be able to do. Even with good rallying ability, it will be hard pressed to try to do anything too constructive. We abandoned our tanks. And they're retreating. Right. Anyone in a position to actually do something? Don't think so. I can shoot at you. We can at least keep this tank running away and not be able to ever destroy it because all the anti-tank guys are going to be left behind. But at least we can guarantee that it's not gonna screw us over anymore, so no more extra casualties on our side. Right, we have all the flags, enemies retreating. This should be the end. Marginal victory and a loss. Might not be able to kill the tank, but I can kill this crew. Or not. It's the magical crew. Last shot, kill it. Right, I could harass the tank more. Maybe I can mobilize it? Mortar might be able to do it. Well, it's thoroughly suppressed. The end. Mortal victory loss. Back to your civilian job. And extra losses, yeah, immobilized and damage. Shit. They don't even get all that much. 365, but it's still not enough. Yeah. Forced us to abandon any further effort to knock the Syrian out of the conflict. Our governments agreed to cease fire until further peace talks. You, with your task force demobilized, you may return to your previous. 365 points is too much. Even if you get closer to 2000. We need to probably keep it a low 200, so we need to do a massive anti-tank operation using units that are cheap as possible. That way we can afford to take casualties here and there. It won't matter too much. I think I want to make... yeah, this is a shitty thing for the game to do. Do you want to save your game? You just lost and the game is over. You want to save it? Fuck you, because if you do, you're fucked. We don't want to use the deployed version in this case. We need to buy new units. New selection of units. I'm not sure a helicopter is the answer there. The anti-air capabilities were rubbish, so I'm not concerned about that. But it's still there. And I'm not sure if that's the answer. These would be 28. We could basically get, what? 20 anti-tank jeeps. And I think that would be far, far, far superior option to getting a single goddamn tank. But that would still not we still need to spot the enemy with something. Cheap scouts are nice, I suppose. Cheap. But I don't know if these are any better, really. That's the problem. We could afford a single helicopter, it's very cheap. Basically costs nothing. What about anti-air? Infantry SAM section. Yeah, they had red-eye teams too. Not sure if this is any good. It's fairly cheap, like 8 points. Holy shit. So, I think we're gonna do this. We're gonna pile a lot of teams. A couple of helicopters, some infantry SAMs. And we're going to take on the aircraft first. Gonna spread around and take them, damage them at least. It will probably take a few turns. We can move the jeeps and tanks into position during that time. We can't use the anti-air units in a fight for a long time anyhow. Um, so what I need is a helicopter section, cheap as possible. This will be used to spot the enemy positions. I'm not sure if this will work in our favor really, because they might start to act much more aggressively if we start spotting them. However, this is fairly cheap to lose, and they didn't have a huge amount of anti-air capability. What I needed to do is ordnance section. Ammo trucks. They're 8 points. This would allow us to spam as much jeep ammunition, the missiles as possible, and we still would have a way to return some of the jeeps back into action. I don't know if this is a worthwhile purchase, but it's also not a huge purchase. Infantry SAM sections. I think we're gonna buy these with what's left. We might have a limit to how many sections we can take. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 16 jeeps that can spam anti-tank missiles at the enemy, and they're very accurate. From 99 to around 50%. The ammo is the real cost, so we're gonna split them into two, give ammo truck to each group, and spam the enemy with those. We could also take a flak cannon. I think we are better off with the infantry SAM sections. Usually you would use man-portable missiles would be anti-helicopter, but the low-flying aircraft might be good of a target too. Only 3 missiles per guy, but we don't have a huge amount of targets we want to take out. So surely this is the perfect optimal thing to do. I think this is a good choice. We get most of the kill capability of the tanks at a fraction of a cost, while this allows us to have casualties. The problem is these will be destroyed by the aircraft fairly easily. So we do need to get rid of the aircraft this time. It's not an optional thing. At the same time, they did take care of the tanks just as well, so I'm not sure if it makes too much of a difference. So hopefully better luck next time.